This Was a Woman is a 1948 thriller directed by Tim Whelan and stars Sonia Dresdel. This follows an idyllic post-war family whose relationship quickly breaks down through their struggles for power. On the surface, the film is an interesting statement on family dynamics as well as bridging a discussion about mental health that was not often heard around that time in cinema. What I find most interesting about this film, however, is not what's on the screen, but the sheer lack of information that you can find surrounding it. When I was looking for anything about this film, it felt like I was looking for a needle in a haystack. It was near impossible for me to find anything out there about this. The BFI, who offer a streaming platform for this film, give you nothing but a mere synopsis for the feature. IMDb have nothing, and Letterboxd only hosts 2 reviews of the film that were dated in the past few months, which leaves me questioning, where is the information about this film? By far the best aspect of this film is Sonia Dresdel's performance as Sylvia Russell. Throughout the opening sequences, it becomes clear to the audience that she's the matriarch of the family. She carries her scenes with her family with such sincerity. You believe that she cares for them dearly, which crafts a sense of the archetypal housewife and mother. However, these sequences also carry a sense of subtle malice through Dresdel's portrayal. A slight inflection in her tone here, a grimace to herself there. There's subtleties all over the place, which could relate to her theatrical background.
Mummy, Val's asked me to marry him. That's why the film was gibberish. We didn't care. We couldn't care. I've never been so happy in my life.
And you?
Wonderfully happy.
This is clear from the first few sequences she is in, and these points are only intensified throughout the course of the film. The cinematography is also able to present her with a great sense of foreboding. Take this shot for instance. She is still, she is in the shadows. You can see the cogs in her mind ticking along. What's her next action going to be? She's also situated away from the family. By this point in the film, she's completely disconnected from them, and not a word of dialogue need be uttered. Her performance in this was easily the highlight of the film, and one that arguably stands up against her most iconic on-screen role, that of Mrs. Baines in The Fallen Idol, that was released the same year. Dresdel's performance also serves to highlight one pertinent theme of the film. The narrative revolves around Sylvia's thirst for power, and her means of attempting this. From my viewing, it is her attempt to break free from her life as a housewife in the attempt to get something more out of her life, but loses sight of this after years and years of stagnation, thus leading to her jadedness, and the character you see on screen now. The film addresses these actions with mentions of mental health, but this appears to be dismissed in her final interactions with her son. The film also vilifies Sylvia from the offset with the title. This Was a Woman suggests she has lost her gendered identity by attempting to attain more power and become what she wants. But the writing and the performance allows you to still understand Sylvia's motives, even after witnessing these atrocious acts she has committed, thus creating a 3-dimensional lead worthy of discussion and debate. The attempt to get more out of life was something that was rather pertinent in British cinema after the Second World War. Kitchen sink dramas became popular 10 years after this, and by no means is This Was a Woman a kitchen sink drama, but Sylvia's journey is very similar to a protagonist in, say, a Saturday night, Sunday morning, or a loneliness of the long distance runner.
Oh dear. Arthur's done very well for himself, if you ask me. Lovely daughter, brilliant son, you. What more can a man want?
Power.
Power's an unknown quantity, Mrs. Russell, like atomic energy, a destroying explosive, or a creative force, according to how it's used. No, on balance, I wouldn't say power was a desirable factor in life.
No one fully realizes the value of a thing if they've never had it.
I haven't got power.
Although I think rather fondly of this film, by no means is it perfect. When looking at the writing of it, it doesn't seem to hold up in certain aspects. Early in the film, Sylvia commits an atrocious act. One that, when watching it, angered me and opposed me to her for much of the movie. I'm not going to tell you what it is for spoilers, but after viewing it, a lot of the audience might find it irredeemable. However, when the family confront her about this act, she freely admits to it, and they don't appear to be too upset by this. And this action is nearly forgotten by the cast in the next scene, something that I don't think would happen in a more contemporary film. Another aspect of the script that I didn't agree with was the kids, Terry and Fen, being sent away on a cruise for a number of months. This only served to bring them together in unity against Sylvia for the final act. But this is one aspect that could have been done without having to have them leave and come back. It felt like it was only implemented to pad out the running time and pad out the script.
Refreshments.
The film, although mildly flawed, contains a lot of positive elements, from Sonia Dresdel's captivating performance, the subtleties in its cinematography and themes that appear to be well before its time. The film is even directed by Tim Whelan, who's famous for the 1940 film Thief of Baghdad. So with all these factors, it becomes all the more confusing as to why there is so little about this film out there. My only assumption is that the film has only been recently found or restored by the BFI. Other than that, I have no clue as to why there isn't anything out there about this. However, it does appear that more eyes will get a chance to see the film, as it is getting a DVD release alongside The Living Idol. I don't know how big a DVD release in 2020 is, but it is better than nothing. From all the aspects I've previously stated, from the great performances to the cinematography, one aspect that sticks with me is the timelessness of the piece. The film is about people and the dynamics that often stem from family turmoil. This was able to immerse me and keep me invested in the narrative, something that not all films are capable of. I know that this film has to be only one of thousands out there that have not seen the light of day in years, but if you get a chance to see this film, I recommend it. And even more, if you come across a film that you can't find anything about, take a chance on it. You never know what you might find.
Well, what you going to do? Have me hanged?
Oh no. You won't be let off so quickly. Not so easily.